Welcome back. You're in for a special treat today because we have Dana Messino-Cange. She is a holistic herbalist, and she's going to be talking about how to bring essential oils into your life. And, not only are you a spectacular woman, a client of World of Wellness, you work with Ashley, but you're also Joe Messino's daughter and the godfather of nutrition. So it's like a legacy here. We got the whole family coming on.
No pressure.
No. Well, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having
I have
me.
some questions, but I'm excited to hear your presentation because I love oils. I'm a certified aromatherapist as well, and I love the brand that you're going to be talking about. So I'm excited because we don't talk enough about oils, Dana. We don't talk enough about one of the easiest therapeutics around, and I'm excited that you're bringing them to the world of wellness.
Me too.
Yes. So let's hear a little bit about you and what you're going to present today.
So I have a very, very long history with holistic health, herbs. I studied holistic nutrition years ago and holistic health. I really love herbs. They're probably my favorite thing to venture into. And I think because, they are the easiest to use because they're simple, but they can also be used in really cool extras, complex things. You can make products, you could take them in so many ways, but they can also just be the most simple thing. I like to call essential oils our little helpers. I believe that I've called them Earth's helpers many times on many occasions, especially being a mom.
Yeah, I love our little helpers. I love that.
Yes, I love them. And, I got into them because I always had a true passion for history. Essential oils have been used since before biblical times. I think that's a great thing to point out because our bodies they already know how to take in these oils, use them, benefit from them. They're the most natural thing you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're, I think one of the things to point out is they're the most natural things you can get and some of the cleanest things you can get if you really choose the right companies. So the purity and potency, which is what Nutritional Frontiers is all about, and the brands that World of Wellness carries. And now they're stepping into the essential oil realm, and no better person to do it than you. So This is great.
Thank you. Yeah, doTERRA. So doTERRA has many points of difference, and one that it is extensively third-party tested. Potency is a number one priority for doTERRA. These oils come from all of the roots, flowers, bark, stems, all of the parts of the plants, but they are intentionally grown and harvested in all regions of the world. So wherever these essential oils and these plants will thrive the most, that is where they're grown. That way, they're not planting something in an area that it really doesn't belong and having to add artificial reasons and things in there to enhance the growth of the plant. The other thing that doTERRA is really known for is its purity. There are absolutely no fillers. There are no foreign contaminants. There is nothing synthetic about these oils. I think that's really important because, and you guys all know this, but I think our bodies are overwhelmed with synthetic chemicals. We use products that have synthetic ingredients, man-made lavender, and these unnatural products, they can really weigh you down. They can, interfere with the way you feel, the way you think, your life in general. And, or worse, we know a lot of products to be hormone disruptors. So especially on our little ones, and, men and women, all of us, we really need to go back to the natural products. So doTERRA is very simple to incorporate into your life. And I think that the best way to describe them are in 3 easy uses. You can use them, as you know, in aromatherapy. You can directly inhale them. You can diffuse them. You can also use them topically, which I'd like to talk about. And doTERRA's point of difference too is some of these oils, you can use them internally. So that's really, really important because there was a lot of years that we had essential oils that were not as pure, not meant to be used internally, and people were trying to, and it just wasn't working out for them. So doTERRA, that's a huge point of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear about, companies that they're just not clean. And I think some of the things that we need to point out is, how they extract the oils with CO2 extraction, not using the ethanols, tested third party for purity and potency. That's a big thing. And that is what really makes the difference if you're going to use them internally, to know that the company is certified with organic oils. The sourcing is important. And they're a big give back type of community too. So for every purchase, there is a helping hands that, builds clean water wells for children in third world countries. And so it has become more than just a brand. It's become a lifestyle of outreach for this company. And again, yet another reason that, World of Wellness is looking at it. So really good stuff. I personally like topically. This is my favorite, Dana. Whisper. Do you ever use this?
I love that.
This is my favorite. I use this. I get complimented on this all the time. I use it every single day. I put it on my wrist, my neck. It is my perfume. And that's a big thing with perfumes. People don't realize what that's doing to their limbic system and the synthetics. So can you just take a moment and just differentiate for us between candles and what are those little diffusers of synthetic chemicals into your house? Those air fresheners, and essential oils. And then we can get back into the application of it. But I just want to make the difference right off the bat. Like, why wouldn't I just buy a candle? Why do I have to buy a diffuser?
Tracy, that's a good point, because these days I feel like everybody has air fresheners. Everybody wants their house to smell nice, and they don't realize that, you're breathing in synthetic chemicals directly into your respiratory system. You are inhaling carcinogens right into your lungs. That's especially with little ones and pets. That is one of the worst things that you can do for your respiratory health, and it sticks with you. I noticed that I would go into different businesses, say you're walking around the mall and they have their perfume going through the vents. And I actually worked in cosmetics for years, and I experienced this, and I got to tell you, I felt ill being in there and constantly inhaling toxins. And there's nothing better than walking in somewhere and smelling good, but you don't want to get sick from it. So when you are diffusing the essential oils, you are getting just the natural form, just the scent of the most natural parts of the planet. So we're looking at, diffusing lavender. You're simply smelling just natural lavender in its absolute most pure state. And that is, as we all know, one of the most calming and most frequently used scents. It's in every perfume, but they make it so synthetic. So it's like even when you go into a car, I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you get into someone's vehicle and they have those air fresheners hanging from the mirror, and it's overwhelming and it's strong, and you almost feel nauseous.
Pine tree.
Yes. Do you remember those? doTERRA has a solution for that. They actually have car diffusers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can have, and they're very small, they're inconspicuous. They don't diffuse at an overwhelming rate. So you really can have a great natural scent in your vehicle without actually having synthetic chemicals going on in your car. And I think it's a really nice way to incorporate feelings of calmness, or maybe energizing. Or we have products such as Breathe that's formulated to help your respiratory health. So whatever concerns you may have going on, you can essentially help them. You can work with them with these essential oils, whether you're in your home, whether you're in your vehicle. It's very convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it does enhance mood, and they work very well with complementary nutrition. And I always would tell people, your essential oils are going to work better in a nutrient dense body. So we have to get that. And doTERRA has products for that as well. So many different ways that we can use this, but I love the impact of the limbic system. I always tell people, like, good smells and bad smells, they all bring up memories, them, and they all bring up mood. You don't walk into a barn filled with cows and go, oh, this just puts me in the best mood. No, that smell is like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. So it does elicit a physiological response and a mood response. And
Yes.
that's a really big way that we can use oils today, especially in this world where, we're being masked and people are depressed and sad. Simply by diffusing certain oils, that actually has a limbic response on that autonomic nervous system and really helps enhance mood. And that's a big one. So I'd like to talk about ways to use these and how they can help us in those ways too.
Absolutely. So a fun fact, doTERRA likes to discuss that their oils are 50 to 70% more powerful than just using herbs alone. So I like to use tea for an example. I personally like mint. I always have peppermint on hand. 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 28 cups of tea. So I just have to say, oh my goodness, it's, you want the benefits of peppermint, but who's going to drink 28 cups of tea? I just can't do it. I would love to do it, but I'm definitely not capable.
We would be in the restroom all day.
You'd never see me. No one would hear from me ever again. So, that being said, lemon, peppermint, some things, ginger. When people say, oh, I really want to incorporate these herbs into my life, but I can't. I mean, you'd have to cook so much with it. You would have to take so much of it. These oils are a really nice way to bring them into your life without actually having to do much work and without having to use much of them. So that being said, I actually have a little recipe. Let me see here. Where's my little recipe for... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a tip. I have a tip for cooking. I haven't tried this one yet. Okay. So when I bake, I do use essential oils. I'll put a drop or maybe even a little less. I'll stick like my fork, just in the top of the oil, drop it into the batter, whatever it is that I'm making, soups, things like that, cookies. But they have a tip for cooking that I found to be really effective. And it's called the Toothpick Method. And so they say when you're putting something in your drink, like your tea, I always use a drop. But if you're kind of like, how much should I use? Is a drop going to be too potent? They say to use the toothpick, put it right in the top of the oil, and then use that to stir. Basically what I do with the fork, right into your drink or the food that you're making. I think that kind of gives a bit of relief to everyone out there who's going, okay, but when I go to use it, what if too much comes out? How do I know if it's going to be overkill on my food or my drink? So I learned that, and I thought, that's something that's great to share. That's just one of those things that you don't ever want to overuse them because they are really potent. But in that respect, that's a great tip and an easy way to incorporate them into whether it's food or drink for everyone in the family.
Yeah, that is a great tip. I love that. I mean, honestly, I was always just a drop will do you type of girl too, but sometimes it is overwhelming. I can drop a peppermint. That goes a long way.
It does.
You can do it like those little peppermint beadlets. You put them in your mouth, and when they burst, your whole head's like, wow, that was very enlightening. So I love the toothpick idea.
Yeah,
because that's enough, and then you could use. I mean, you could put that toothpick in your mouth and get the benefits all day long. So I love that. I love it.
And then, there's also cleaning products. And that is one that I do keep a recipe card for. I use On Guard. I believe that most people are familiar with On Guard. It's an autoimmune booster. I use 1 cup of warm water, 1 cup of white vinegar, and 20 drops of On Guard in a spray bottle. I shake it really good prior to use, and I clean everything with it. I clean my countertops, my bathroom sink. I constantly spray my door handles. I think that a lot of times, we spend money on these spray cleaners. And just as we talked about synthetic products that we put on our bodies, there are synthetic products that we use to clean with all the time. And, you're inhaling those chemicals as well. So in times like these, and always, when everyone wants to make sure that they're, keeping everything very clean, eliminating maybe germs. I think that's a really great tip. I don't know if you've ever used On Guard in that way, but they make cleaning products, but you can make them on your own like that. It's very, very quick and simple.
Yeah, I love the On Guard line. We use the toothpaste, we use the beadlets, I think the On Guard capsules are one of my favorites, because it has the Melissa in it and some other things. And they work so good with the oil of oregano in those as well. And I use those for a lot of things. But I love the cleaning products as well. I have the disinfectant, and I've used that from scrubbing my hardwood floors to putting it in my carpet cleaner for my carpets. And it's safer because people don't think about, and I would tell people, you have a baby and you're Swiffering your floors and they're pitter pattering across there and all the chemicals and endocrine disruptors and ew, I like clean floors too. I got 2 dogs, 2 cats, 6 chickens and kids. So my house is a circus. And the best thing that I ever invested in was a Norwex mop, and I use the On Guard cleaner with it. So that's what I do. And I feel good about it because I know that if we're walking across barefoot now, we are not absorbing through all those pores in our feet, all the chemicals. So great stuff.
Right. And that's actually a really great point, because when we talk about using these oils topically, a lot of times, if you're brand new to them, you'll say, well, okay, how do I use them topically? Where do I put them? It's a great question. And a lot of times I will direct people to using like a fractionated coconut oil as a carrier oil to go with your essential oil drops. And if you're unsure as to where to put these oils, you may know this from generations back, but the bottoms of your feet are one of the best spots to put these products, to have your body recept them and utilize them in the way that they need to. I've always had a small paranoia about walking on floors barefoot, especially after cleaners. I remember my grandmother telling me, Vicks Vapor Rub, right? I remember her saying, if you have a cold, put it on the bottom of your feet. That's where you have to have it. You could do your chest too, but put it on the bottom of your feet. And it's just interesting. There's a lot of science to that. I don't know if they knew that they were doing such good work. I don't know if they understood it or not back then, but they were. And so, babies, pets, adults, everyone walking on these floors, and you don't know what chemicals you're absorbing in such a receptive area.
I completely agree. And there was a question in the chat here. What do you think about plant therapy as opposed to doTERRA or Young Living? I think, plant therapy has come on to the scene, and I don't know a ton about it. I think it's a lower cost brand. And I think sometimes people are looking for that. They also look at, these oils are so expensive. But the same thing goes with essential oils as supplementation. And Dana, when I got on this side of the supplement bottle from being in practice to understanding how formulations are done, you can say a lot of things on a label that aren't true. You can put out to the world a lot of things that aren't true. One of the things that you have to remember is you can ask for C of A's on these essential oils from the companies. Those are certificates of analysis. You can ask for the third-party testing to see how clean they are. And sometimes what they say and what they promote and what actually is are 2 very different things. So that's what I would say. If you want to do a very thorough research on the companies that you use, reach out to them. They should be more than happy to hand you over their testing if it's true and pure and potent. And I know doTERRA is. They make it available. I don't know about Young Living too much. I use a few of their oils. But I was kind of groomed towards doTERRA in the beginning. And I've never had an issue with them. So if something's great, I probably won't change. But to each their own. What we're talking about today is just essential oils in general. You can apply this knowledge across several brands, except for the ingestion. That's where I'd probably throw a pause. So yeah, good questions though. Keep them coming. So Dana, let's move into how to use these topically and some dilution protocols and who can use them safely.
So, honestly, everybody can use these essential oils. Depending on how you're using them. doTERRA provides so much information online. They also have a free app too. So they will direct you with the letter A to use them with aromatherapy. Okay, they'll direct you with the letter T that it can be used topically, the letter I for internal. I like to use fractionated coconut oil. That is my carrier oil of choice. And I believe I use about 10 drops of fractionated oil to like 1 drop of essential oil. But I like to find my mix. And again, that's for topical use. If you'd like it to be stronger, you can find your own recipe. But I know for me, I'm usually using a blend of oils, and sometimes I think they're not too strong, but everyone else might be like, wow, you really smell like wild orange today, So everybody can benefit from them. I really, truly believe that men and women both love these oils. I have so many friends that are now wearing the little necklaces with I think it's the volcanic bead that you use with your essential oils. And that way you're getting the benefit of it being right on your skin, but you're also getting that benefit of direct inhale. I don't know if you've seen those before. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, I've been using doTERRA probably about 9 years now. So yeah, I like all the stuff. And yeah, they work great, those little lava beads, because the scents will last a few days, and then you can put a different scent on it, or a different essential oil, and it's usually just 1 drop, and those, they absorb it and they keep it for a few days, so it just acts as a diffuser, but it's not too overwhelming. They have bracelets, there's all kinds of stuff. I just slather it right on my skin because I like the topical application. I know essential oils go through the skin, some of them quicker than others, which is, based on molecular structure and the terpenes and all the things within them. But they do get in there if you rub them in, and it depends, on how long. So talk to me a little bit about application. What oils do you feel need diluted? Who needs to dilute them? Can you use any oils straight up, as we call it, neat? Just like the beverages, right? Just like, Joe Messino and his Tito's. He likes it neat.
So there are so many oils. There are singles and there are blends. A lot of your soothing oils, like lavender, for example, can be used directly on the skin. I've actually used tea tree directly on the skin. I use it for so many reasons. First aid benefits. Frankincense is another one I use directly on the skin. But there are some that really should be diluted. Now, since there is such an extensive list of oils, doTERRA does provide that information online, which I will be trying to get some of our pamphlets and our information in the wellness clinic with the products. But just off the top of my head, cinnamon bark, that is a heat producing oil. You'll definitely want to use that one diluted. Clove is another one on the skin that you'll want to dilute. Thyme, oregano, oils that have a bit of a stronger flair to them, you will want to dilute before applying. And the same thing goes for taking them internally. When they are approved for internal use, oregano, for example, I love oregano, and I'm very experienced in taking it. So a drop under the tongue for me is no big deal. But let's say, for example, you're not used to it, and like my husband, for example, when he first tried it and he was fighting off colds and things like that, I think he tried it and he was just like, too much. So we moved to like a drop of oil with a little cup of water. I know that sounds like it wouldn't make sense, but it does help it go down.
And those are what are called caustic oils, so they can be a little bit warm on the skin.
Yes.
It doesn't make them dangerous. It just makes them cautious. So my very first experience and story, a long time ago, I think John was about 2 years old, and I was just getting into essential oils. And I can't remember what I was putting it on for, but it was oregano oil. And I had it on my hands, and I touched his feet with it. And he was like, ah, because it was burning. And then I was like, ah. So
Oh,
it was one of those poor mommy moments where I didn't read what doTERRA had told me, and I learned very quickly. And if that ever happens, you can just slather on some carrier oil, and it does decrease that
absolutely.
very quickly. But you want to be careful. So there are courses and classes that are offered through different companies.
Yes.
I would suggest that people take the courses and
Yeah.
classes. Go be a student. If you are going to go out and suggest these things, if you've become part of the brand or any other brand, knowledge is powerful. It can also save you a lot of time and hard lessons like I learned. So I did go back and I became a certified aromatherapist through a course just because I wanted to know more, not
Yeah.
because I was going to become, an advocate for just essential oils, but because it was a modality that I used in my practice. I thought it'd be valuable that I know enough. So, and I know that's what you have done. So we appreciate that. So yeah, so everybody can use them. Dilution is basically on age. I always talk about
Yes.
skin thinness. Elderly tend to have thinner skin. Oils are more, what I say, lipid friendly. So
Yes.
if you have more junk in your trunk, right, then they can last longer in the body, which is why with women, we get better benefits because we do have more fat stores
Yes.
compared to men who tend to be leaner. So good stuff. Now, orally, which oils do you use personally for oral ingestion?
Quite a few. Quite a few, Tracy. Okay, so I have a couple with me. Number one is On Guard. I don't go anywhere without On Guard, whether it is the liquid, whether it is the beadlets. These have become one of my best friends. And I don't know if you know, I don't know if you would know this, but a while back, and I'm gonna go there, Dad. Um, I believe that he cracked a tooth. Something happened with one of his teeth, and I always have clove. I incorporate this into dental use, swish it around, everything, mouthwash. I take it internally, but I gave him. It was his introduction, I think, to DoTerra because I gave him those beadlets, and I was just bite it, break it right on your teeth, just keep using it, and it gave him tremendous relief. I think it was a holiday, if I recall correctly, and he was at my house cooking, and within probably a half hour, 45 minutes, he was in no pain. So using those beadlets, using the liquid clove, On Guard as well. It contains the clove in it. Those benefits give you immediate results, which is amazing. I use oregano if I feel like I'm a little bit sluggish, if I feel like maybe I'm fighting something off, if I feel a little run down. Peppermint I use daily. I feel like peppermint is my uplifter. That is just something that gets me going. In the morning, I actually put a drop in with my ice water. Not only is it a great breath freshener when I'm also drinking espresso, but it gives me a really overwhelming sense of let's get going, uplifted, happy, and I love the flavor. So tea tree is another one that I keep on hand. I do use that internally as well as topically, but I only use that one again when I feel like maybe I'm fighting a little something off. Sometimes you just have those days where you feel run down and you don't know, like, is it viral? Is it bacterial? Is there something going on? And I incorporate it with my daily regimen. So, I take my probiotics and then I think to myself, well, maybe I'm fighting a little virus off. Let me take some tea tree. Let me take some oregano. Not to mention the fact that they're potent, but I actually really enjoy the flavor. So I don't mind putting a drop in my drink or under my tongue. And
Yeah.
finally, frankincense and lemon. Frankincense, I have just always been drawn to. There are so many benefits from frankincense that are anti-inflammatory, that are helping for autoimmune health. So I use that topically. A lot of women I find are using that topically around the underarm and chest area. And then I also take it internally. And lemon, I put in everything. If I'm cooking, I put a drop of lemon in. If it's on, whether it's in vegetables or tea, it's part of my daily regimen.
I love that. And frankincense is called the king of oils for so many reasons because it's just so broad reaching. It's one that I use all the time. And, you know, tea tree is a staple in our household for many reasons. But one of the biggest ones is because my kids play sport and they smell all the time and their clothes stink. So I will throw that in with our laundry when I'm washing clothes. I'll put in about 10 drops of tea tree with towels, with football equipment. Not only is it antimicrobial, antibacterial, but it also is a great freshener. So it's really important, you know, to not use synthetic things. You know, laundry detergents have a lot of you know, unnatural things in there that can be endocrine disruptors. So we use a, you know, natural, you know, chemical free, all that kind of stuff, you know, detergent. But sometimes without the smelly good synthetics in there, you know, there are some issues. So I use essential oils. At time I'll put On Guard on things, but tea tree has been my staple. And then for women's health, I love tea tree. A lot of women will have problems with overgrowth of candida. We know that tea tree can offset that. One of the things that has come and been passed down to me from a lady who was a really big herbalist in our area, she would say for any type of vaginal issues that tea tree would be good, and diluted out, of course. So it was like a, you know, toothpick of, I guess you were saying, mixed in with coconut oil and then break open a probiotic, and that can be used.
Absolutely.
You know, so good stuff that we can do with essential oils, very safe, and lots of studies on them too. People don't realize how many studies on PubMed there are for essential oil therapy. Like, this is the real deal. So good stuff with essential oils. I love it.
Well, you know, you think back in history and you realize, you know, there was no pharmaceuticals back then, but they did have these plants all over the world. So they used what they had and, you know, it worked. It worked tremendously. And that's why you hear, you know, ancient Egypt, biblical times, all these areas where these plants naturally grew. They learned how to use them. They used them for all sorts of reasons, topically, internally, inhaling. And that's why doTERRA kind of prides themselves on, we grow these plants where they are ideal, where they're meant to be grown. We harvest them and we keep them very pure so that we're getting the same benefits that they did years ago.
We were talking this morning about it, and, you know, I used to do an oil of the Bible class, and there's over 600 references in the scriptures about essential oils, starting in the time of Moses, which was, you know, the very first book of Genesis. So we have to remember that these have been here since the beginning of time, and they have been used. Now, were they extracted the same way we do now? No.
Right.
I mean, the Egyptians extracted with sun. They would lay leaves out and they would pound them and let the sun hit, and the oil would trickle down the rock and they would gather it. You know, they did pressing of peels like lemon and citrus. And that's like when you dig your thumb into that orange and it bursts. That's some of the oils. Like, the oils are on the rind of certain fruits, not within the fruit. So just by zesting lemon or zesting, you know, your oranges, you're getting that essential oil therapy, which is why it's so pungent when you use a zest of something in food. Now we just have a better extraction system where you don't have to do those things as often. But you can certainly if you want to. But I love it. Yeah. And, you know, one of the other questions I wanted to ask was, you came out of the industry for makeup and all of that aesthetics. Tell me a little bit about, you know, some of the facial products that they carry as well, and why people should be looking at those over going to like some big box stores or big companies that have things that have facial cleansers and stuff like that. And even shampoos. I mean, get into the whole girly thing.
Absolutely. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. So when I started studying herbs, I actually worked for a very, very large high-end cosmetic retail company, whom I love. I had a great time there. I was a part of all of the trainings on all of the many, many brands. I think it was over 200 brands of product total that were carried online and in store. And one thing that I noticed in these trainings was that they never talked about potential harmful side effects from the ingredients used in their products for skincare, for cosmetics, for hair care. So I start taking some courses, and I learned some things about hormone disruption and the endocrine system and the lymphatic system. And I start to think to myself, I cannot sell these in good faith anymore. I can't do this because you're spending so much money on these products that you think are going to help, and maybe they're topically giving you some great benefit, but what are they doing internally? So I started looking for the natural brands that they sold, and then I would only direct people to those. It wasn't before long that I thought, okay, I think I need to get out of here because I'm just not helping the company to the extent that I probably could. Okay, so when you use, let's say, shampoo, for example, and you go to the store and you buy one that's a tea tree shampoo, it's supposed to be very good for clarifying, maybe itchy scalp, dandruff, things to those nature. If you're not really getting real tea tree. Most times you're getting synthetic tea tree, which may smell the same, which may seem like it's giving a great result, but internally you're putting it directly on your scalp. That's absorbing right into your skin. So I've noticed that a lot of people, once they start getting into the education of essential oils, they say, I don't even go there anymore. I stick with the shampoos that I know that are cleanly made, and I add my own oils to them. So I do have a bottle of tea tree right in the bathroom. That's something that's used in shampoo and or body wash, like you were saying, depending on your concerns. And at least at that point, you're getting the potent, pure, natural state of something like tea tree. I also recommend, just for emotional health, if you say are on the nervous side, you're getting ready to do some big event. I know my daughter, before she has big things going on, we put a little bit of lavender in her shampoo and in her body wash. It's soothing. It is wonderful on the skin as far as calming inflammation down. So when she gets a little nervous, she gets a little bit red, a little inflamed and irritated, a little bit itchy even. And so, when she's nervous, she'll always be scratching at her face. So a little bit of lavender goes a long way, 1 to 2 drops within her products, and she comes out a whole new person. And I know that it is the natural form, that is not an endocrine disruptor, that it's strictly soothing, and she's getting the benefits of inhaling, the benefits of topically, and it works wonders. So, there really is a difference between adding your own oils or using products that doTERRA carries, because they do have their own skin line. And I say to each their own. If you are looking to purchase something where it's already put together for you, say in the anti-aging realm, where they use a lot of frankincense and things like that, then go ahead and try those products, because they're made clean. They don't have synthetics in them. Or you could venture into your own, and like I do, I make some of my own serums. I have a little bit of my fractionated coconut oil. I do a little bit of frankincense. I do a little bit of lavender. Sometimes, depending on my feel for the day, if I put a little citrus in there, and I use my own blends all the time. It's a great thing to have if you have a couple oils in your home, you can do so many things with them. As we know, if you go to purchase products in store and they're, say, brightening products from sun damage or previous acne scarring, a lot of times there'll be citrus products, especially the natural brands. Well, you can actually make them on your own, but then be able to use those same oils in, say, your cooking, your desserts, or your drinks, and get multiple uses for your money. So there's a lot of options out there in the beauty world with essential oils.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look back in history, that's what they all used. They used essential oils in their baths and in their daily regimen. And it did keep their skin beautiful. They were, exposed to elements, low water consumption. Like, it's not like today where we have everything just readily available to us and we just choose not to do it.
Right.
Back then they had nothing and they really tried hard to stay healthy. So I think, just understanding that there are no FDA regulations with makeup in our country.
No.
We have so many highly toxic products full of xenoestrogens and all kinds of synthetics that if you can just simply change your shampoo and your face wash and your body lotion, I have the doTERRA sprayer. And what I do is I mix different oils in there with the fractionated coconut oil, and I just spray it on as my moisturizer every day. I use their yarrow palm, for my face and my skin every day, mixed with the fractionated coconut oil. It doesn't take a huge regimen, and then I wash my face with their cleanser. So that's what I do. I love their new shampoo, the new in the blue bottle, and then the conditioner. I love that. That's what we use. And we use all of their soaps. We buy their detergents. We have their toothpaste. So all of our household items that you would usually go to the grocery store and buy, you can buy through one company or at the Weiner Wellness Center and get them, and it's so much better for you. And that's the big thing. It's not just essential oils, like let's just rub them on our body and smell them.
Right.
It's really about, like, guys, use essential oils in everything. They're just bad oils. They're synthetic in your perfume. They're synthetic in your shampoo. They're synthetic in your face wash. They're synthetic in your soap. They're synthetic in your body creams. Like if you're getting into big box stores and you're buying all these like smelly good lotions, you're just putting chemicals that are harmful to you all over your skin, and they're getting absorbed into your bloodstream.
Absolutely.
It's really simple to put 10 drops of your favorite essential oil into fractionated coconut oil in a convenient sprayer bottle that they have, and put it on your skin and know that you're doing something beneficial for yourself. It's easy to change your cleaning products. It's easy to change your toothpaste, your shampoo. It's easy. And it's just all of these steps towards health rather than all of these steps away from health. So I'm glad you're part of the world of wellness and bringing all this new and fascinating things here. So you're going to have to do some classes for us down there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love that.
No makeup line that I know with doTERRA. Do you? Yet?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm going to say
hint, hint, Dr. Hill. Hint, hint.
Right? They're always full of newness. So I would be willing to bet that'd be something coming out at some point. Absolutely.
And probably some of the things that we see with makeup is that in order to have a makeup line, it has to be a really good natural one that they're going to spend a ton of money making to get all the bad stuff out and all the good stuff in. And sometimes companies pick and choose what they do just based on like, hey, that's not really our forte, but here's all these other things that you can do. And then you can go choose a really good natural makeup line. And I have a few that I use that I really like. But honestly, we put more than 450 chemicals on our body from face, hair, skin, everything before we leave the bathroom in the morning, ladies. So, just by switching your face wash, your shampoo, your soaps, your body creams, you could probably cut down on like 300 of them. So
absolutely. Your skin's your largest organ. Got to take care of it.
Yeah. So do you want to summarize anything for us? Any more wisdom to share?
I think it would just be best to leave everyone with, give nature's treats a try. Try the natural way. See if you benefit. I think you will. Eliminate some of the toxins in your life. Move closer to health with your natural products, your essential oils. Every single little step that you take is a very, very large step for your body. Your body will appreciate it.
Amen. So how do they get in touch with you to find out more about essential oils? And guys, we'll try to get some classes going down at the World of Wellness. I think these would be great kind of like DIYs, like do it yourself type of thing.
Absolutely.
When I had my store, we used to do gift making, and people would buy packages and come in, and we would make scrubs and diffuser blends and all kinds of cool stuff. And, I always had 25, 30 people come to those workshops, and they were a lot of fun. So we could do some fun things like that for the holidays.
Absolutely. I think that would be great. Do it yourself is probably the best way to go. We'll have some information on the Facebook site for Weiner's Wellness. And you'll be able to find me, I believe, inside as well. I'll be there in person at some point doing some classes. We'll have to keep you guys updated.
Okay. Yeah. In the meantime, reach out to the Weiner Wellness Center, World of Wellness, and they'll get you connected either with Dana or some favorite products and get you started.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for all of your time today and sharing your
Thank you for
passion for
having
essential
me.
oils. Yeah, well, you are welcome back anytime. And maybe next time we can dive into the science of it and some deeper things
Yes,
for people at our next Wine or Wellness Week.
absolutely. I would love that.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, guys, stay tuned because Jamie Dorley is coming up, and just going to ride on the back of this entire discussion of what would your labels say. We're really talking about how can we read labels better for purity, potency, and for the best products to choose for you and your family. So stay tuned because Jamie Dorley is coming up next with what would your labels say.